Is finance still pegged as a cost center in your company? Or maybe you started partnering with other functions but wonder what more you can do. Today I'm revealing how you can drive real strategic decisions, from reimagining business models to ensuring stable liquidity. If you're a finance manager, director, or a CFO determined to push your company to new horizons, you're in the right place. So, are you ready to transcend routine finance tasks and ignite transformative growth? It's finally time to embrace value creation, the top tier of our finance maturity model. At this value creation level, your finance team becomes an unstoppable growth engine, orchestrating bold moves like M&A, advanced pricing strategies, and end-to-end portfolio optimization. No more playing it safe. Let's show the organization just how powerful finance can be. But before that, let's recap the journey through our framework so far before we talk about its pinnacle. We started with foundations, the bedrock of your finance operation: people, capabilities, systems, and compliance. We explored them in separate videos, and you should think of them as the oxygen that keeps your entire operation alive. Taking care of them is critical to building the finance team sustainably and ensuring that you are not pulled back to the tedious day-to-day data work. Then we moved to basics and explored securing operational excellence. We spoke about controls, data and reporting, and finally routines and processes. These are the most fundamental aspects of your day-to-day operations. Why? Because similarly to foundations, you and your team will always be dragged back into Excel and number crunching if you don't have this level well established. You'll never be able to trust your numbers, and above all, the rest of the organization might start to doubt the quality of the function if you don't ensure the high quality here. And that's the critical for the next level of business partnership. We explored risk management, leadership and influence, and finally decision enablement. Already at this level, the rest of the organization starts looking up to you and the finance function to drive cross-functional projects and lead the organization. Finance is starting to become the heart of the organization, but that's not the end, and today we'll go one step further. With your foundations and basics well established, trust developed through business partnership, it is time to get obsessed with the value that you can create for the business. Something I strongly believe is that every finance function should be designed to perform. Imagine finance not just as a guardian of costs, but as the champion of the breakthrough profits, fluid cash management, and strategic investments. You set the blueprint for how and where your organization invests. You ensure your product lines stay profitable and competitive. You shape your capital structure that funds expansions and acquisitions. At the pinnacle, other functions start following your leadership and guidance for growth and insightful views on the end-to-end value chain. But this area is complex, so before I go deeper, I want to outline the big picture for you first. There are 5 ways you can go about value creation for the business by running down the P&L and other financial statements. Top of the P&L, you drive more revenue. Middle, you maximize mix and portfolio profitability. Bottom, you optimize cost structure. Cash, you drive cash conversion and liquidity. And finally, balance sheet, you optimize the capital allocation and investments. These are the basic levers you can pull to drive more value for the company. But how can you do that? I'll show you now how I see the value creation level and how all of it feels together. First, you focus on profitability enhancement, such as pricing strategies and cost optimization. Here, you would see the first 3 levers that we talked about, from driving revenue and more profitable sales, through mix optimization and the cost structure to deliver it. Then you move further down the financial statements and master cash and liquidity. You ensure that your company is poised to seize new opportunities, but also generate more cash faster for every sale made. By this time, running down the bottlenecks, you first took care of the revenue and drove more sales. Optimize where you drive these sales from through the right mix. You optimize the level of cost involved in doing so. And finally, you shorten the cash conversion, generating even more cash percentage from it. This all prepares you for the final piece of the value creation puzzle: portfolio optimization. Here you take a step further and look at the big picture of the organization and decide where to invest and what to divest. Here finance becomes a catalyst for bold moves and sustained performance. You not only drive the organization forward, you are the engine behind it. All of the 5 elements fall here. You can buy or divest businesses to increase your growth rate and optimize the mix. You can look at the end-to-end operation and optimize both the cost structure and cash conversion. And finally, you decide behind which of these levers you want to invest the cash you generated through all the other areas. What is the result? A finance function that is empowered, transformative, and truly unstoppable. This is nothing more and nothing less than a true value-focused approach. You and your team spend your time delivering value-focused analysis and driving the organization forward based on the quality of the data, analytics, processes, and above all, its people. Now let's go through this area one by one and focus on the ways you can drive more value. First, let me visualize for you the easiest way to think about it. Imagine this circle is your revenue. It's your total sales coming from everything you sell. Now we draw a second one, smaller inside of it, and that's your profit, or for the sake of this model, I will talk about EBITDA. So taking any accounting adjustments related to aging of your assets like depreciation and amortization, tax or interest you may pay to service your debt. Why is it smaller? What falls in between are all the costs in creating the product you sell and all the other costs involved in running your business. And finally, we have a third circle, and that's the cash you generate. It's again smaller than before, but you will have the interest that you pay for your debt and the tax that you pay that we took out earlier. Let's remove any investment at this stage, just for the sake of this model. We'll come back to this as we go through all the three areas of value creation. First is profitability. I divide this area into business model innovation, pricing and revenue management, and strategic cost optimization. Here is where you re-engineer business models, reprice offerings, and continuously optimize costs. You analyze competitor moves and market data, you shape new revenue streams, fine-tune margins, and aggressively drive the bottom line. Pricing and revenue management is the next frontier. Think pricing positioning based on the real-time value perception or meticulously balanced promotions just to keep the brand equity intact while spiking sales. Each tactic is laser focused on fueling profitable growth. So let's go back to our circles model again. In these first two areas, you focus on expanding the biggest circle while making sure that the middle one grows too. In the end, your focus is to make sure that you sell profitably. Therefore, the growth in the biggest circle will drive all the other ones bigger too. Finally, we talk about cost optimization, so we are zooming in on that middle circle. Here the question is how to make it bigger without focusing on revenue. Tools like zero-based budgeting and cost-benefit analysis ensure you spend your money smarter, not just less. You drive efficiencies, eliminate unnecessary costs, allowing it to expand that circle further. In a nutshell, in this area, you either expand the whole business or figure out how to run it more cheaply in a more optimized manner. But what about the smallest one, the actual cash that you generate from your business? I divide this area into working capital optimization, treasury management, and cash flow forecasting. Fancy expansions won't matter if you're strapped for cash. That's why working capital optimization, tight control of your DSO, DPO, and inventory if you sell a physical product becomes really crucial. Your payment and sales terms if you run a service business. You want enough liquidity for strategic plays without straining supplier or customer relationships. In essence, you want to shorten the time between your sales and when you receive cash and extend it as much as you can when you pay the costs. I hope I don't need to say that, but all of that, of course, is done in an ethical way and according to all laws and regulations. So don't put an overly pressure, especially on the small suppliers, that can backfire very fast for you. Treasury management and tax also hits the center stage here. Centralize your cash, hedge currency exposures if you are global, for example, and maintain top-tier banking relationships to secure favorable credit. You optimize your interest rates and taxes that you pay. Don't underestimate the value that this area can generate for your business. And let's talk cash flow forecasting. Using real-time modeling, scenario analysis, and automation so you can seize opportunities the moment they arise. And to have a good view on the timing on how much cash you have at each point in time. Going back to the circles, that ensures that your smaller circle grows as well. You optimize your interests and taxes to grow the circle. Then you shorten your cash conversion, ensuring that there is no significant delay or mistiming of your expenditures and the cash that you receive. And finally, the circle fluctuates a lot. In some months, it might be even higher than the profit ones if you run down your inventory. for example. Sometimes it might be negative if you build it up. So the right forecast is critical to ensure liquidity at all times. And the lack of liquidity is one of the top reasons why small and medium businesses go bankrupt. They simply run out of cash to service debt and pay suppliers, their employees, etc. So your role here is really critical. That leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, portfolio optimization. I divide this area into M&A and capital structure, value chain optimization, and investment governance. Through everything we have spoken about so far, you have focused on generating as much cash as possible. Here is where you decide what to do with it and how it will impact the structure and size of your circles moving forward. This is where you decide which product lines or businesses are star performers, where to invest further and which to divest. You might notice that through revenue expansion you are spreading yourself too thin across many product lines and it costs you more and more to service them. Here you might make a decision to actually decrease the size of your circle strategically by divesting some of the product or brand lines. Or you can decide to invest part of this money to expand the portfolio and acquire brands or companies that align with your strategy. Meanwhile, value chain optimization demands an end-to-end look, from raw material costs to final customer pricing. Are there cost synergies with the supply chain or production teams? Are you missing cross-company collaboration that can reduce overhead and improve time to market? Here you might both save money, optimize cash, and also invest to optimize and expand your value chain. And finally, to put all of that together, for every major investment, define your ROI criteria and crucially revisit them regularly. Conducting post-investment reviews ensures that lessons learned fit right back into the future decisions. And that gives you a holistic view of all potential investment opportunities that you can make from the cash that you generate from the business and all other value creation strategies that you deploy through other areas. Hey, if you resonate with the way I look at finance and want to receive more regular guidance and tips, don't forget to subscribe to the Phoenix channel. Yes, we are focused on personal development, and I strongly believe that to be a great leader, you need to ensure your development as well. On top of that, I'll be releasing more strategies on how to elevate each component of this framework. So stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you in the main video. First, map your value chain and portfolio. Understand the circles model I've shown you, which you can also see as the funnel from sales down to cash that you generate. Understand what generates it and where it leaks, so it gives you an overview of where to prioritize your efforts. Then accelerate revenue and profit levers. Reassess your business models, pricing tactics, and cost structures. Pinpoint potential margin gains and double down on them. Secure liquidity. Strengthen working capital cycles, explore advanced treasury solutions, and maintain robust forecasting just to enable your most strategic moves, which come as a next step, strategic portfolio moves. Evaluate potential acquisitions or reorganizations. Embrace cross-functional synergy to refine the entire value chain. Look critically at your company, constantly future-proofing the portfolio and running it in the most optimal way possible. Then pull together investment strategy. All of the above points will result in a certain ROI. Map them all out and define the criteria for how you want to assess and prioritize these projects. Install post-investment reviews, document successes and missteps, and build momentum for an ongoing improvement. This is the summit of our financial maturity model. Value creation, where you're no longer just balancing the books, but driving the future of the company. Your finance team is now a bold, transformative force, shaping M&A strategies, forging new revenue streams, and ensuring the entire organization thrives under smart capital allocation. No more lives stuck in the data processing. You are an engine behind the growth. So, thank you for joining me on this journey, and be sure to check out the next resources in our series to keep your finance function firmly in the lead.